So my name's Duncan. My job this morning is really just to frame our next two and a half hours together, where we are going to explore what it's like to build communities of entrepreneurs and what they need around them. It's not just the entrepreneurs, it's the ecosystem of support networks, of capacity builders, which you'll know a lot about, the investors, the churches, and how all of that fits together. And there's more to it than that. And what you're going to hear this morning is a few very short, snappy presentations from people that have been joining on a journey with Angello. And I'll tell you a tiny bit about Angello in a moment. And we've been exploring together what a thriving, faith-led, Christian, entrepreneurial ecosystem could look like. And what's amazing is that you're going to hear from all the corners of the world. And it's such a great privilege to have all those people with us in Angello. Let me tell you a tiny bit about Angello, because that's important. I don't press here. Are you on it? Thanks, Colin. Dude, thank you. We have some drivers, some mission drivers within Angello. We have a vision, and that vision is about creating entrepreneurial ecosystems. We don't want to lead them. We just want to bring people together. We want to be the yeast that disappears. We want to facilitate. And we have created something called the Playground, which is those four corners of the world coming together and starting to think about this and learning from each other. And creating tools and resources for one another to start to do that. That's our vision. We believe in people. We believe in the restoration of people. We're driven by bringing God's kingdom to earth for people, but the same for creation, for the planet, and helping bring regeneration to this world that we live on. We believe in prayer. We believe in perseverance. And my first prayer this morning was to have the perseverance of the mosquito that was trying to keep me awake last night. Wow. He was, give me that perseverance, Lord, but also give me the impact, the ratio impact of a tiny mosquito to a 190-pound guy. Man, give me that impact power as well. They were my two prayers this morning. But what we most believe in is partnership. And let me say at that point, thank you to Sinapis, the team at Sinapis, for living out unity. You talked about unity yesterday, and thank you so much for that. But also for taking risks and allowing us to be part of this with you, and for living and breathing that. We describe ourselves as more than a network. What we say we are is an Acts community. We believe the book of Acts just keeps going and keeps going. We want to keep creating those stories. And it's an invitation to all of you to join with us in that and live out those values that we see in the book of Acts, where we care for others, where we care for one another, where we live radically, where we live in a way that supports one another and makes way for one another. And thank you for your word on that this morning, Jane. It really spoke to me. We keep preaching each other's sermon anyway. This is good. It's a brains trust. We don't think we have any of the answers. We're not the experts. We're the facilitators. And this morning, you are all part of that. We're going to share together. This isn't a teaching session this morning. We're going to learn from one another. And it's about relationships. I could go on and tell you more about what we do. But it's an invitation to explore what we're about. Later on, at the very end of the session, we're going to point you towards some resources from a number of places where you can come together, some tools that you can take away that are really practical. That's what we're about. There's one more thing I need to tell you about. If you have a mobile phone, a smartphone, whatever it is, one of the ways that you can participate this morning, there are other ways, but one of the ways is to get on the Wi-Fi. The code's here if you haven't got it. There's also a free version, but I think this one's a bit faster. And when you do that, you're going to go to menti.com, and this is your special code. And through our participation, our collaboration, our discussions this morning, the words that we use will start to create word clouds that we can take away with us, just to remind us of what we were talking about with some of the critical questions that we're going to be asking one another, but also the stuff that we're going to learn from the individual presentations that come. Okay? So we'd really like you to join in on this. You can do it at any moment. You don't have to wait to be invited. You can just start to build those, but there will be moments of invitation as well. So we're going to have a little trial, and then I'm going to get out the way. Which is, oh, did I miss? Okay. It's coming. Here you go.
Hang on a second.
8755 7440. 7. Hang on. Everyone in? Did we hack the system? Okay. So this is the first one. If you're in, is everyone in? Anyone struggling? Hands up if you're struggling. It's okay. We can go through it. No, everyone's in. The first question is, what does an entrepreneurial ecosystem mean to you? And what you'll start to see as you put in words, it will start to build our word map, and we'll all have something to take away as we go through. There'll be other ways that we share and learn with each other as we go through. So thank you for joining in on that. That's a good rehearsal. I'm going to introduce you to someone that will be familiar to many of you, but perhaps not to all of you. We're going to be led through this morning by a very amazing person. I've known Anatol from Moldova for nearly 2 years, I think, but I met him for the first time in real life about 2 days ago. So it was really nice to see that he also has a body as well as a head, because I've only ever met him on Zoom. And what was even more amazing is the first time of meeting, to give someone a hug. How good is it to be together again, right? It's not the same. Zoom isn't the same. Those video calls are not the same. The sharing and the collaboration. So I'm really happy to hand you over to Anatol. Thank you for the thought and the energy that you've put into this morning, and thanks for guiding us through.